how's it going? My name is Ian Lopuk and I'm the man behind PPCian.com. Today I'd like to discuss a very exciting topic, and that's launching a brand new Google AdWords campaign for a brand new Google AdWords account for a brand new website. And before we get into some tips about doing so, I'd like to just compare and contrast launching a new campaign for a new website versus launching a new campaign for an existing website with an existing account. From my experience, it's far easier to launch a campaign for an existing website that has an existing Google AdWords account. There are many reasons behind this, but a few that I'd like to highlight are just quality score and history behind metrics. When you have an existing website with an existing account, you've built up a quality score over the years, and Google trusts your account. So therefore, when you launch a new campaign, it's far easier to gain traction and make it profitable in a short amount of time. Moreover, when you have an existing account with an existing website, you already have data, so you understand the keywords that work, the landing pages that work, your conversion rate metrics, and the overall metrics in terms of making your campaign successful. However, when you launch a campaign for a brand new website, you have two hurdles to overcome. The first is on the quality score side. When you have a brand new account, Google might not trust it overnight. You're going to have to build up that trust over time by spending money and having a good landing page quality score and having a great click-through rate. Moreover, when you're launching a campaign for a new website, you just have a general lack of data. You don't understand overall the conversion rates, the keywords, the right mix of keyword and landing page. There are some things that you need to figure out over time. So when you're launching a new account with a new campaign, you don't have those metrics readily available. In terms of tips for launching a brand new AdWords account for a new site, I'd like to highlight three. Let's start with the first one. And the first one I'm very, very excited about, and it's something that I feel very passionate about, and that's Google's landing page quality score. In terms of the landing page quality score, I've seen it time and time again. If you launch a new site and it has a bad landing page quality score from the beginning, it is going to be nearly impossible to recover. I've seen it a few times. You have a quality score of 1, 2, or 3, and you're able to climb out of that ditch and get it back to the 10 level. But I'll tell you, 9 out of 10 times, that does not happen. And you're really going to run into trouble if you start off with a poor landing page quality score. Therefore, my number one piece of advice is working with your engineering organization very closely in terms of landing page quality score. Follow the best practices. I recently wrote an article on my site, PPCian.com. I highly recommend that you check it out. I run through about 5 different factors in terms of having a great landing page quality score. And I'm telling you, if you start out the gate with a landing page quality score of 7 through 10, you're going to do extremely well. This is half of the battle right there. You're going to start out with a great new account and you're on your way to success. The second item that I wanted to highlight today is just match types. Let's face it, as search engine marketers, we love to test new stuff, and Google makes that pretty easy by offering exact match, phrase match, broad match, content match, site targeting. There are so many options, and I'll tell you, it's my general gut reaction to want to go out there and test everything and understand what works and what doesn't. In terms of launching a brand new account, I recommend not doing that. I actually recommend focusing on just exact match. And there are a few reasons for this, but I'll highlight the big ones. More than anything, exact match gives you control. You know exactly which keywords are driving your visitors. Moreover, exact match tends to have a very high revenue per visitor, and it makes sense. You're not going to broad match to irrelevant queries. You're only going to get traffic on the best queries out there, and by doing so, you're going to be able to focus and iterate and make your new campaign so much successful and so much closer to profitability when you start. And I'm going to tell you, when you launch a new campaign, you're not necessarily going to be making money from day one. It's going to be an iterative process. Over time, you will end up making a lot of money if you have a great product, great website, and you have great pay-per-click campaign managers. However, on day one, in terms of getting as close to profitability as possible, and getting the best data possible and giving yourself the best chance, it's all about Google's exact match. In terms of my third tip for today, I wanted to really continue the last point and talk about budget and bids. And this is something I feel very passionate about. You know, we talked about landing page quality score before in point number 1. It's very important to have a good landing page quality score. Now I'm going to talk about click-through rate and spend history and building up just general account quality score. It's very important on Google to go out of the gate strong. I like to bid, you know, basically 200% of my expected long-term bids when I go out the gate. And then I'll build a great click-through rate because I'm going to be in a very high position and I'm going to have some great spend history right away. And moreover, I'm going to get a lot of traffic on which I can optimize on and understand what's going on relatively quickly. Now I'm going to tell you, this is, you know, not always easy for organizations that are on a limited budget. You have to be very careful to have strict budgets in place and understand, you know, from your manager and from the executives at the company, you know, what's okay and what isn't. You don't want to go out the gate, lose a ton of money, and then get in trouble for it later. But what's important is to communicate with the people in the organization and let them understand the strategy. And in my opinion, it's very important to go out strong because, like I said earlier, if you start off with bad history, you're going to spend 10 times as much trying to remedy things and dig yourself out of that hole. But if you start with great history and you pay a little bit more up front, you're setting yourself up for long-term success. So I'm telling you, go out of the gate strong. Moreover, you know, there are ways that you can kind of level the playing field. One thing that I like to do is set my budget, you know, at a low level but still bid high. You know, that's one way that you can control things. If you have an unlimited budget and you bid high, you're going to blow through a lot of money. But if you set a fixed budget and you bid high, you're okay. So kind of wrapping up point number 3, what my overall recommendation is to start with bids that are roughly 200%, where you think they will be long-term, and then gradually over the course of the first 2 weeks, ratcheting them down. You know, take them down a little bit each day once you've built up this history. And this is so important because you're going to go out the gate at a great position. And you know, Google is supposed to normalize for the different positions, so even if you go out at a low position that will have a lower click-through rate, you should be okay. But it's been my experience that the normalization can be a little buggy in some instances, and it's important to go out in that top position because that click-through rate you establish will really help you for the long term. So there you have it. Those are just 3 tips in launching your brand new AdWords account. I hope that's really helpful. These are things that have helped me so many times in the very challenging task of launching a new account. And once again, you know, guys, if you have any questions at all, feel free to ask me. I'm here to help you guys and really enjoy getting questions from all of the listeners out there. So once again, thank you for listening and thanks so much for visiting my site, ppcian.com.